Hi, we've all heard the song, do you want to build a snowman? Well, do you want to build a frozen cake? This is our latest offering, and I think you'll agree it looks absolutely fantastic. There's so many different elements to this cake. We've got cookies, we've got cake, we've got snowflake Christmas trees, and we've also got these fantastic plastic models that just finish it off perfectly. I'm going to show you exactly how to make this cake. First of all, you need to know how to cover just the sides of the cake, because when you're covering a cake and you're going to put something like a snow-topped cap on it, then it's too much sugar paste. So it's quite nice just to cover the side of a cake and then leave the top just so that you can cover it with your second layer of decoration. Now, as you can see, I'm using a polystyrene dummy today, but this is obviously going to be your cake. So I've put some edible glue around the sides of my polystyrene dummy, and I've got my sugar paste. I'm using here a mixture of a turquoise and a Mediterranean blue colour. And I've mixed them together, and I'm going to roll it into a sausage shape. Now I've got a really good little trick here, because what happens is that when you roll into a long sausage, because you want to get a long rolled out shape, what usually happens is not only does it get longer, but it gets wider as well, and we don't want it to do that. So I've got a really good little tip to stop that happening. Icing sugar on your workboard, icing sugar on the top of your sugar paste, and then with your rolling pin we're going to give diagonal bashes down one side and then turn and diagonal bashes down the other. So actually you end up with X's all along. And what this does is it just spreads the icing out evenly so that you can roll it lengthways, and it will just get longer and longer rather than wider and wider. Okay. Now another little tip as well, if you don't know how long you need to get it, obviously to go around the circumference of this cake, then take a bit of ribbon or something and just measure it around the circumference of the cake so that you've got this as a guide. So I know that I need my sugar paste, well, pretty much to be the same length as my workboard, and I need the height to be about that. Fine. Okay, let me get cracking. So I'm rolling longer. And don't forget to make sure you get some height on it as well. That's it. There you go. Good, I reckon that is probably enough. Okay. Now I'm going to just blunt off one end. So I'm using a palette knife here. A nice straight edge. That's good. And then I'm going to straighten off either of these edges as well. Good. Okay. Now, for the tricky bit. This is going to be easy for you because you're using a cake, and a cake is quite heavy, but this is really light. Okay, so it's going to want to move around. Now, some people do put it round a rolling pin and make it all look really flash and everything. I don't think you need to do that. You just pick up the middle here of your sugar paste. Okay, if you pick up the middle of your sugar paste, and I'm just going to stand it up around the edge of my dummy. Make sure it sticks to the side, and I'm going to go all the way around, and hopefully it's going to join up at the end. Okay, that's gone all the way around there. Make sure it sticks all the way. Get my smoothers, make sure it's nice and smooth all the way around. That's it. And then I've got a palette knife, I've got a craft knife here, but if you've got a sharp knife, or you can use a palette knife. If you're only a little kiddie wink, then you should only be using palette knives. But I'm going to go all the way around the top. I'm not going to worry too much about how even it is, only because it's going to have a snow-topped cap on it anyway. But that's pretty much how you cover a cake just around the side. Okay, next stage of the frozen cake is to put the ice snow-topped cap on it. So we've got the sugar paste around the outside, and we're just going to put it on the top now. Now I'm going to use white sugar paste for this, but I'm going to use an embossing rolling pin just to give it a really nice, lovely effect. So how are we going to get it all evenly so it's all nicely draped all around the sides of the cake? Well, I've got a little trick for that as well. I've cut out an 8-inch, I'm using an 8-inch round dummy here, so I've got an 8-inch round circle. So I'm going to roll out my icing, and then I'm going to use this as a guide of cutting my snow out. So, a little bit of snowy icing sugar. Let's roll out, this is just normal sugar paste, white sugar paste. Roll it out, backwards and forwards and turn. Backwards and forwards and turn, giving you a nice perfect round shape. Okay, that's about right. Perfect, make sure that that's big enough. Yes, it is. Okay, so our last roll is going to be with this beautiful embossed rolling pin. So I'm going to start at the end and nice and firm roll from the back to the front, and there you have really, really pretty, lovely embossed pattern. So let's put this over the top here, and what that's going to do is it's going to give me the guide of that's the top. So now I need to cut out my snow. At least now I've got a nice guide where the top's going to be. So there's no definite pattern, but just a bit of a wavy, yeah, like so. Good. Take that off, and there's our wavy snow capped top. So now I'm going to take my, remember this is your cake, and there's my dummy. Now obviously this is going to hang down a little bit around the side, so I've got some edible glue here that I'm just going to run a little bit just around the top edge, just so that it does stick around the side. It doesn't, you don't have to be perfect with it, just make sure that it's around the top edge. That's it. And then pick this up, try and make sure it's in the middle. Does help. That's it. Lay it on the top. Try not to press down too much because you'll get rid of that beautiful embossed shape, and then just tip it over the sides. That's it. If you've got some extra long bits that don't want to stick down, actually that all seems to be sticking well, then just lift it up, a little bit of edible glue, tap it back down again. Go all the way round. That's it. Perfect, and there you have your snow-capped cake. Next we're going to make these really lovely snowflake Christmas trees. Now I've done these using snowflake plunger cutters, but you can also use any sort of snowflake cookie cutters you've got, any sort of shape, as long as it's like a snowflake, then you can use them. Now I'm going to roll this out and show you how to do it with sugar paste, but actually I've made some here earlier and I've used modelling paste. It makes them just dry harder, so I'm going to show you how to do it with the sugar paste. If you haven't got any modelling paste, you can do it with sugar paste, it just takes them a little bit longer to dry. So we're going to roll them out, roll out your sugar paste. Now, I'm going to show you all different ways of doing this. The first way, simply cut out and leave to dry. Or, let's just take that little bit, or I've got a lovely star embossed rolling pin here. Ooh. Roll out so it's embossed, and then cut it out. So you've got star embossed snowflakes, which looks lovely. Or obviously we're going to use our snowflake plunger cutters. Now the way you use these, actually this needs to be rolled out a little bit thinner for these because it's quite an intricate cutter. So roll it out so it's only a couple of millimeters thick, that's right. And then down, give it a wiggle. Push down to make the really pretty snowflake embossed pattern, and then push down again to release. Okay, and you have a really, really lovely snowflake. And also here's the size down. So cut out, push down to emboss, and then push down again to release. Okay, so as I say, I've made lots of these with some modelling paste, because then when they're dry, let's use these. Actually, let's use some plain ones. When they're dry, a little bit of edible glue in the middle, and you can start layering them up. Oops. Okay. Start layering them up to make some really, really pretty Christmas trees. Doesn't matter how many you use, just the higher you go, the more you use, the higher you go. Just make sure you do put a little bit of glue after each one, edible glue obviously. I'm going to just put one last one underneath for it all to sit on. That's it. Perfect. And now we can leave those to dry. Bit fiddly. That's it. Okay. We leave those to dry and we can put those on right at the end. So that's how you make snowflake Christmas trees. Okay, so now we're going to make our cookie Christmas tree. Now I've used some cookie cutters here, these star-shaped ones. You can buy them in sets of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however tall you want your cookie tree to be. Make some cookie dough and then obviously cut them out and bake some cookies. And what I've done here is I've just piled them up all together, as you can see. I'm going to show you how to cover them with the sugar paste first. So here are my cookies that I've baked, and I've just rolled out just normal plain sugar paste. And you can just leave them plain or you can emboss them. Let's put some star embossers on them like this, and then just cut out with your cookie cutters the same size. And I've got some jam here. Use whatever you like. If you've got some edible glue, but I'm using strawberry jam. Just a little bit of a dab in the middle just to stick your sugar paste on, and then just match them up. Okay, and then obviously you can pile them one on top of the other, as I've done here. I'd leave this probably for about half an hour so that it sets nice and firm, and then it can go on top of your cake. And actually what this does is it cuts any need for people that can't eat cake, because some children can't eat any cake, so they can have the cookies instead. So that's going to go onto my frozen cake just in a second. Now back to our delicious, beautiful cake. Now before we start to decorate it, I'm going to give it a little bit of a magical spray. Now this is called Pearl Lustre spray. It's an edible spray, and it just puts a beautiful, lovely, glittery sheen and pearl over everything. So I'm just going to spray over my sides and over my front, just like that. It will be in your hair, it will be in your eyelashes, you'll look beautiful. So, pearl edible spray over the sides and over the top. You don't have to leave that to dry. You can go straight on and create some nice pretty decoration on the top. So I'm now going to put a little bit of glue or edible glue or jam. I always call jam glue when I'm talking about cakes. And I'm going to take my beautiful cookie tree and put that on the top here. I think that looks lovely. Now I'm also going to put these lovely stars here along the side. Now you can see my one that I made earlier, that's a snowflake frozen cake. So I've used snowflake cookie cutters. Here I'm using stars, so that's what's going on the side of the cake. Can I just give you a little bit of a tip? If you're going to put something and glue it on the side of a cake, then always make sure that you flatten the side of the cake that you're going to put it on, because it's much easier to stick something onto the side of a cake if it's flat. Okay, so I'm going to stick that onto the side like that, and then I think I'm going to put the other one, so I'm flattening it out again, I'm going to put the other one there, a little bit of jam, and then stick it on. There you go. Good. Okay, so you can put as many biscuits around the side as you want to. So that's the biscuits on. Now I'm going to show you just all different ways of how to decorate the cake. We're going to put, remember we made our Christmas tree earlier, so I'm going to fix that. I think this would look really nice actually next to the big one. So let's put that one on there. Okay, and also we've got these fantastic snowflake sprinkles that are so cute. So they're quite good. Well, actually I'm now going to swap to edible glue because this is clear, because now we're going to decorate on the top of it and I don't want the red to show through. So if you just put a little bit of edible glue wherever you want really, I'm going to sprinkle these snowflakes, just those little piles of snowflakes. You could also, don't forget down the bottom, okay, these look really nice on the board as well. Okay. Also, if you want it to look like it's snowing, you can attach these little snowflakes. Now also, I made extra snowflakes earlier, remember? So I can put a few of these bigger ones on the side. So really you can do as little or as much decoration as you want to. That looks good. Okay, and now of course for the stars of the show, I've got here these lovely frozen characters. Now I'm going to attach these with edible glue. I'm going to put some edible glue on the bottom of their feet, but to make sure that you, in fact that one's better down the bottom here really, to make sure that they really do stick, it's usually best really to take a piping bag of royal icing and just pipe some royal icing on the bottom of the feet, okay, and that will make them stick hard. Royal icing on the bottom of the feet. If you've got to travel these quite a long way, then actually I would even go so far as to make him look like he's immersed in the snow. Yeah. And really secure his feet. That's it. Perfect. Nice big bits of snow. Now you can also stick down into the sugar paste, because of course that secures the models but also makes it look as though their feet have sunken into the snow, which looks really good. That's it. Perfect. Elsa, I'm going to steal my Elsa from here actually. She's going to go in pride of place. Now to finish off our cake, I've now got some frozen sparkle mix. Now this is a mixture of magic sparkles which I've crunched up and an edible shimmer. So make sure everything is edible, but I've crunched it all up together, and then just to finish from quite a height you can sprinkle this all over your cake. It really does make it look truly magical. There you go. So I think that's pretty much it for my cake, but as I say, you can go on and on and on, and you can put as much decoration on it as you like, but I don't think there's any doubt that this is a proper frozen cake.